Hey everybody, Annette Knack here, and I am broadcasting right from my backyard, so you might hear a little bit of noise in the background, maybe some birds, maybe some planes, but I want to give a little bit of a change of scenery because there's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you may or may not know of. So my goal for today is to talk about a story that I've shared several times before and how I think this story, even though it's true, I feel like is holding me back. So some of you might know that I work as a personal trainer and a health coach. I love what I do. I love the people that I work with. But 3 years ago, I had a little bit of a challenge that dramatically changed how I worked and really just changed the course of my life for at least the last couple of years. So I was unfortunately in a car accident, and no car accident is ever a good thing, but this one particularly really kind of shook me to my core because it not only gave me a concussion, whiplash, and some nerve impingement, it severely limited the motion I had down the left side of my body. So as someone who works with her body all day long, every single day, 5 days a week, it's really difficult to do my job. And what I found happening is that I wasn't willing to let myself slow down. I said, I can do this, I'm strong enough, I'll recover, it's no big deal, I'll get through it, however I have to, I'll just muscle my way through it. And one morning, I teach a 7 a.m. Pilates class on Wednesdays. It's really early, but it's really worth it. I was picking up a piece of equipment, and it couldn't be more than 3 pounds. I pick up a piece of equipment, and as I do, my wrist just goes this. I sprained it, picking up really literally almost no kind of weight, and the injury was on my left side, and I sprained the wrist on my right side, and I'm a righty, and that just completely deflated me. It was like, what else can happen? What else has to go wrong? Because I've had it. It's been too much. It's bad enough that my car was totaled. It's bad enough that I now have to rely on other people to get where I need to go, and now I've hurt myself on top of what I've already had. And this story I held on to for a really long time. I wallowed in it because it's not easy to be injured. It's not easy to do your job. It's not easy to help other people when you literally cannot help yourself. I had a hard time picking up my purse. I had a hard time picking up weights. And as a trainer, you're picking up weights all day long. It was hard. It was really, really hard. And I identified with this story for a really long time. And I identified with it up until maybe a couple months ago because this was my story, this is who I am, and I tell my clients, own who you are, be proud of who you are. There are parts of us we may not like, there are parts of our story that we may not really enjoy sharing with other people, and my journey lately has been to be really vulnerable and share all the parts of me that I might have hidden for the last couple of years. So I said, I'll own it. I can own this story. This is what happened, and this is how I'm recovering, and I'm still recovering because, honestly, injuries like this, they still happen. Like my wrist has been hurting me for like the last week, and does it slow me down? Yeah, it slows me down enough for me to pause and think about what I'm really doing. Is what I'm doing really important? Do I need to be doing it? Do I need to ask for help? Or is it something that, I can just deal with? So I owned this story for a really long time because it was easier for me to live or relive this story over and over and over again than to actually let go of what was happening behind it. And what was happening behind is I wasn't taking good enough care of myself. And before you say, well, how many of us actually say we take the best care of ourselves? This is what I teach people for a living. The word fraud comes to mind, and I say that with love, that I felt like I was a fraud for a long time. And when that happens, you don't really present yourself in the best light as a professional, as a coach, as a trainer, as someone who is supposed to walk their talk, as someone who preaches, for lack of a better word, do this to be healthy, eat your vegetables, make sure you exercise, and all that stuff. And it just ended up being crap. It was crap. And my clients were fantastic because they knew who I was and they knew what I was trying to accomplish. And they let me kind of sit in this story. Oh, poor me, I was in a car accident. Oh, poor me, I can't use my arm. Oh, poor me. And I know that sounds awful, but I wasn't seriously injured in a sense of physically I was unable to regain function. I was. It took a long time. It took a really long time. It took about 18 months until I had full use of everything that had been injured during that car accident. And it's a long time. That's a really, really long time, but I'm letting it go. I'm letting go of this story that I was a victim of someone else not paying attention, because at the end of the day, I wasn't paying attention to myself. I try to tell my clients all the time that your body's always going to try to get your attention. A little twinge here, a little ache here, but we ignore it because, like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. I can get over it. But then something else starts to ache a little bit more, and then okay, maybe I'll slow down. I won't do yoga today, but I'll lift weights tomorrow and it'll be okay. And then the ache will get a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. The body's trying to get your attention. When your body's trying to get your attention, you need to listen, and I didn't listen. And I continued to not listen for a long time. So when it comes down to it, your body, you only have one. They're doing great things with replacements, but I have an 88-year-old client who's going to be 89 in about 2 weeks. 2 knee replacements. She says if I could have my knees back and they were functioning, I would. We don't need to have to go to this really far out scenario where we have to have things replaced or fixed or worked on. Respect your body, respect your story, but sometimes you need to let it go. Sometimes you need to stop playing victim into whatever's happened to you in your past. Use it as a strength, use it as a power for you to be able to help other people and to be able to take that power and really help to affect change. So I can use my story as a way of saying, listen to your body, listen to yourself. I'm listening to my wrists. There are certain things I can't do, and that's fine. There's nothing there that really needs to be done. And if I need something to be done, I can ask for help. I have people around me who are more than willing to help me. And I might not have asked them for help 6 months ago or 9 months ago, but I can ask them now. And I think what we really need to learn is that sometimes slowing down is good. Sometimes owning who you are is a really great thing to accomplish. But sometimes we need to let it go, and sometimes we need to just say, hey, I'm me, I'm not perfect, I'm struggling, I'm succeeding, I'm doing everything that I could possibly can do, and I know a lot of you out there are working on it too. You're doing it, and we just need to say, okay, I'm human, and where am I going to take this? How am I going to use this to help someone else? Because this is not the end of the story. This is not where it ends. This is not who you have to be. One thing happening to you, 2 things happening to you, 10 things happening to you, you can use this as a power. You don't need to use this as a weakness. And that's what I've learned, and that's what I'm letting go of, that my injuries, the stories I've told myself, the stories I tell other people about myself are not the end of my story. They're one piece, they're one small chapter. And I'm going to use my wrist as a reminder that when it hurts, where am I not taking care of myself? Where am I not following through on the promises that I've made to be healthy, to be strong, to be a positive example to the people around me? And I hope you take that and find a way for you to use what you have going on in your life or in your past or the stories that you've told yourself to let go of the pieces that no longer serve you and to really take the ones that are going to be your new superpower and emphasize them, live them out to the best of your ability so that someone else who might be suffering but doesn't want to admit it can say, hey, if that person did it, I can do it too. Have a great day. Enjoy. Questions, please ask me. I'm always around for you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my backyard. Bye-bye.